No.
No.
No, he's got his own. Okay, so if we have this, is this a growth or a decay?
That's a growth.
It's a growth. Excellent. So the original graph goes through this point here and looks like that. What does the -1 tell us?
Go to the right.
Right 1 and the +4?
Go to
Up 4. So we're going to take this point and we're going to go right 1 and up 4. So right 1, up 4. Here we go. Draw growth. Be done. Easy enough?
Oh, yeah.
So today, we're going to evaluate log functions and we're going to graph them. But you are going to need a calculator. So why don't you grab a calculator and grab your notes for 5.2.
Do we just need the log button or do we need
Yeah,
graphing?
log.
The one I used yesterday?
What?
Yeah, I got log on mine. My skin keeps breaking open. It's like,
Is it because it's so dry? Is it because it's so dry?
and I have eczema.
Did you
So
put aquaphor on it?
no, I have CeraVe.
Oh.
And I put it on like 3 times a day, and then it just breaks open and like liquid comes out of it.
Ooh.
No, I'm 10% sure. No,
10%?
I'm more than that. I'm gonna get psoriasis because my dad got it. My dad has it.
You can get shots for that.
Yeah, my dad gets it. Get shots, but it's still not.
I like forgetting about it when I do it.
Psoriasis
Okay.
is awful.
Are we ready? What I'm about to show you is most important for the whole chapter.
Can't wait.
Good.
I gotta watch a video from yesterday.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Hey, lizard.
I think it's a loser.
Hey, no, lizard.
Scared me for a second.
What? Tell Liz what you thought her paper said yesterday.
I forgot.
It was like 4
Something P.
something to
What are you
4
talking
1
about?
2 P or 4. No,
Yeah, I about threw it away.
I'll put
he
it on
did.
the side.
He did. Oh my gosh!
Boom.
Shh. That's your one weird sound for the day. That was your rule last year. You got one weird sound every day. That was it. You hit your max. Okay, here we go. Honestly though, what I'm going to show you, you've seen before in Algebra 2, and it's probably the most important part of this chapter because we are going to go between log, once we get to solving them, we're going to go between log and exponents all the time. So write this down with the big star next to it. And I'm going to do just like the book, the letters the book use. So here's the log form. Y equals log base A of X. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Just say yes, because it makes me feel better
Yeah.
that I taught that to you in algebra 2. Okay, so the way you say this is log, and then this is your base of your log. So log base A of X. This is the log form. For every log form, there's an exponential form. They relate to each other because they're inverses of each other. Does anybody remember the exponential form before I put it up here?
Wait, can you give us more?
Yeah,
A.
I will.
Log X.
No, the exponent, okay, here's your hint. The exponential form has no log in it. Okay, the log is not there.
Y equals AX.
No.
What's the number?
Okay, let's think of exponents.
Okay.
Exponents, what's this called in your exponent?
A Y.
Base.
Base. Okay, now I'm going to start with this log base A of X. What do you think the base is over here in the exponent?
3.
No, there is no 3 up here.
2.
It's
No,
X.
there is no 2.
A.
A, log base A of X. The base is A for the log function. The base is also A for the exponential function.
Wow.
And this is A to the Y power equals X. A to the Y power equals X. These two interchange. They are inverses of each other. And when we get to solving log and exponent equations, you're going to have to use its other form. So this is log form. The other form is exponential form. They interchange with each other. Okay, we're going to use this to start solving logs. Our first part of our,
Does the A stand for base in both of them?
yeah. So the first thing you're gonna do today is evaluate log. So if I give you something like this, I'm gonna make it easy. Well, that one's not easy. I'll make it easier. So if I give you log base 3 of 9, and we're gonna say equals x. Log base 3 of 9 equals x. This is the log form. I'm gonna write this in exponential form, because I don't know what log base 3 of 9 is by looking at it right now. So my exponential form, my base is 3, so it means my base is going to be 3. I'll pull this up so you can see it. What's the exponent going to be here?
9.
No?
0.
No, there's no 0 up here.
X.
Log.
Yes, x. Because over here we had a to the y power. A to the y power. So here we're using 3 to the x power. 3 to the x power equals what?
9.
9. We all know 3 to the what power equals 9? Not third.
Log.
2. 3 to the second power equals 9.
Yep, sure, that's what I meant.
So x is equal to 2.
Is that the answer then?
That's the answer. But what I want you to get good at is the base, here's the exponent, here's the answer. Expo, answer. So base, exponent, answer. Okay, let's try another one. So this time, I'll math it up just a little bit.
So the x goes to the base is 3 and the answer is 9.
The exponent, yes, yes. Okay, I'll keep it easy.
Wait,
One more
can
time.
you? Thanks.
Okay, this one we have log base 2 of 16 equals x. Log
Fill
base
in.
2 of 16. So the first thing you want to do on your own paper is write it in exponential form.
Mm-hmm.
2x equals 16.
So we have the base is always the same. There's my exponent, there's my answer. So I have 2 to the x power equals 16. Then you have to figure out what power of 2 gives you 16. We know 2 squared is 4. Third would be 8. Fourth would be 16. So x is equal to 4. Because 2 to the 4th power is 16. It's not too bad. Okay.
Is this as hard as it gets?
No. Let me math it up a little bit.
That's very nice.
Whenever you say math it up, it zeros.
No,
It doesn't even get hard.
Log base 3 of 1 equals x. Ooh. That looks mathed up.
How?
Does it? It's the same.
Okay, so let's write this in exponential form. 3 to the x power is equal to what? 1. How do you have a power and have it equal to 1?
Square root.
Nope.
0?
Yes.
That's
Anything to
stupid.
the 0 power is 1. So here x would be equal to 0. So a billion, trillion, million, fillion, that's probably not a word, to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So if you've got some base with an exponent and the answer is 0, or answer is 1, your exponent's going to be 0.
How
Okay?
does that work out?
Now, keep what you just said in your head, Colton, when I give you this next one. And then we're going to move on. Well, I've got one more for this one. Log base 4 of 2 equals x. So my exponential form would be 4 to the what power? X equals 2. So I'm going from 4 down to 2 with an exponent.
Square root.
Square root. What exponent represents a square root?
0,
No.
3,
No.
4.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we can't divide by 2 because it's an exponent, but close.
Half.
1/2. 1/2 is if you have 4 to the 1/2 power, that's the same thing as saying the square root of 4.
14.
So here is equal to 1/2. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you, and then we're going to move on to our calculator and then to graphing.
Oh, jeez.
Think of, yesterday I kind of showed you negative exponents, what they did. They took it to the bottom of, or to the top, depending on where they're at. So let's say I have log base 2 of 1/4 equals x.
2
So I have 2 to the what power?
x
Equals
1/4.
1/4.
How the heck
So
is this?
if I know 2 to what power is 4?
2.
2 to the second power is 4. But I want that 4 to be on the bottom. So what kind of 2 am I going to have here? Negative 2. Whenever you see that I can get to 4, but I need it to be on the bottom, this is going to become a negative exponent, whatever that exponent would have been. So here x is equal to negative 2. Good job, group. Okay, now I'm only going to spend one thing on this. Right now, what you know, bless you, this, you can't type any of this in your calculator. Because your calculator, if you look on your calculator, there's a log button there, L-O-G, log.
Ain't very smart.
That log has a base of 10. That's the only, you remember this? Come back to me. That's the only, bless you again.
Thank you.
That's the only log that you can type in your calculator. This is called the common log. And what's special about the common log, so if I give you log base 10 of 5, you're not going to see it written like this. You're going to see it written like this. Log of 5. It's kind of like the square root. You don't put the little 2 there for the square root, or x to the first power. You don't put the first power. Anytime you see log in a number, you assume that the base here is 10. You just don't write it. We like that because we can type that in our calculator. So if you guys just type log of 5, you can get an answer.
0.698970004.
Lovely. Okay. Part of this is going to be evaluating common logs in your calculator. Okay. Don't get upset. Okay. Are we good with log and exponent evaluating?
I suppose.
Okay, that's the first part. And then the second part is graphing.
Oh, yeah, graphing.
Yay. Okay. I'm not going to do that. You guys can figure that out on your own. So, I told you that exponential functions and log functions were inverses of each other, which means anytime you have an inverse, one graph, the x's and y's switch for the other graph. So one inverse might have the 0.42, its inverse buddy has the 0.24. So, going back to what we learned yesterday, we always started out our original graph going through the point 0, 1, and this was our exponential graph. So this was expo that we had yesterday. With a log function being its inverse, we're going to switch the x's and y's all apart. So instead of having the 0.01, we're going to have the 0.10. And it's going to look like this. So this is the original log graph. Unshifted log graph. So just like yesterday, all you had to know was what the shape of the graph was, and you could do the shift. And we sketched it. That's exactly what we're going to do today. Just like exponential graphs didn't cross the x-axis, log graphs don't cross the y-axis. So everything is switched when they're inverses. So this is the original function. So this is y equals, we'll say log base a of x. So here is the general form of the log graph. I'll just move it over here so you can see both. So I have log or y equals log base a of x minus h plus k. So there's good old h and k from yesterday. They mean exactly the same thing. H is what shift? left and right, and what else is important about H? It's opposite, and K is up and down. So we're gonna shift everything from this point here, because this is my original unshifted log graph. So if I give you, I'm just gonna give you one of these, and then I'm gonna let you go on your homework. I'll just make it up. If I give you y equals log base 5, which doesn't matter for my graph for what we're doing today, x minus 3 plus 2. So I'll draw my original log graph. It goes to the point 1, 0. So here's my original. And what does the minus 3 tell you on the inside?
Go to the right.
Right 3. And what does the plus 2 on the outside tell you?
Up to.
Up 2. And notice that with our exponential, your left-right shift was in the exponent and the up-down shift was by itself. Your left-right shift will always be in parentheses with your x. So if there's not one, there's not a left-right shift. And that will always be out of the parentheses. So we're going to take this point here, and we're going to go right 3. And then we're going to go up 2. So here's my new point. And here is my log sketching graph. And that's all we're going to do with log graphs, is sketch the shift. I got to see if we do this. Hang on. Yep. Okay, the other thing I want you to put on your notes, and this is just for, I think you'll remember this, but the natural log of x, do you remember that from Algebra 2? ln is the natural log, because it's log natural, is the same thing as log base e of x. And everything we've talked about, everything you do is exactly the same. So what I want you to do is when you see natural log, I want you for now change it to log base e until we get used to it. So then when you write it in exponential form, you'll know e is the base. And you guys found that e button yesterday on your calculator. Okay? Everybody good with that? The other thing good about natural log is like common log, you could type in your calculator. You can type natural log in your calculator because there's a whole button for it. Okay, here is your homework. College algebra. I'm going to mess that up. That's algebra 2. You're going to do page 408, 1 through 18.
1 through what?
1 through 18.
Skip.
0. Skip 0. Skip 0 problems.
Even.
And odds. Evens and odds.
I love how you dodged everything.
This ain't my first rodeo. I'm doing this teaching thing for about 20 years.
There's the restroom.
Yes.